Last year, Dragon's Dogma was a much welcome new franchise that offered a pinch of Dark Souls with a dash of Elder Scrolls, and finally topped with its own unique take on online interactivity with its pawn system. While undoubtedly a bit flawed, its encounters with towering beasts and action-packed cinematic gameplay earned Dragon's Dogma a considerable fan base. In order to follow up, Capcom has done what Capcom does best by re-releasing Dragon's Dogma with additional content. This narrative add-on entitled Dark Arisen is one that fans have been clamoring for, but does having to buy a new copy of the game kill the value of the new content? Once installed, the Dark Arisen's quest becomes available, open to newcomers and veterans of the game, though low-level characters will find themselves thrashed by the brutes that populate the new content. After encountering a ghostly woman by the name of Olra near the Pier of Casardis, your assistance is asked for on Bitterblack Island. Off the coast of Grancis, this mysterious island holds the past that Olra is unsure of, but somehow connected to. It's a mystery, but with the title of Dark Arisen, you can assume the plot of the story. Fans of the original will be grateful to know that Dark Arisen is better paced. Rather than laying all of its cards out at the beginning of the narrative, and drunkenly stumbling through the rest of the plot points like the main quest, Dark Arisen offers a bit of a mystery that steadily unfolds as you cut your way through the quests. With dialogue between Olra and a voice unfolding the past, Dark Arisen draws the player in for an interesting tale that is enough to hold your attention.
None of it matters now, none of it. Pray, leave me to sleep in peace.
Dark Arisen's expansion isn't strictly focused on the new island. It makes some tweaks to the original campaign, fixing many of the flaws that burned the experience. A texture pack is included, which makes some marginal improvements to Dragon's Dogma's mediocre visuals, and a Japanese voiceover option is available, giving the ability to silence the horrendous English dubs. If only the script was redone, Dragon's Dogma would be golden. Pawns speak less frequently, and a couple of new musical tracks are included. The craptastic J-Rock menu song is replaced with a more suitable hymn. It will be a bittersweet alternation to some, I'm sure. Travel within Dragon's Dogma was a bit of a slog, with a stamina meter and equipment load restricting your movement. It was always a 10 to 15 minute drag to the next waypoint. Enemy spawns never changed, and with only a few quest hubs, certain paths became well worn by players as they saw their journey through to the end. By adding more portal crystals and an unlimited fairy crystal for those who purchased the original game, the blow is softened, allowing for faster travel within the world. It's appreciated, but late for those who have already completed Dragon's Dogma. As advertised, Dark Arisen includes new weapon tiers. The only problem with said additions is the fact that some upgrades require material that shows up as a question mark, leaving it all to mystery. Also included are cursed weapons and armor that must be purified by Olra before they can be equipped. It's a pity there isn't a Decker Kane-like figure to take care of this process for you. What made Dragon's Dogma so memorable was its combat, loot, and beast encounters. Avid players of the game will be happy to know those fundamentals have gone unchanged. The new additions to the bestiary offers a stiff challenge, decimating the underprepared and the poorly leveled. Like before, enemies have a weakness, and it's your job to find it and exploit it. This is where the difficulty comes in, as a bit of trial and error may be required to find an appropriate strategy. The new foes are forced to be reckoned with, and you are likely to fail many times. Dark Arisen keeps you on your toes by spawning random beasts that stack with others already in the fray. It happens often and causes frustration, not to mention many deaths, but running from a battle is usually the remedy. Don't be ashamed to do it. So be warned, and prepare well with the right pawns, regents, tomes, and body enhancers, as you will need to dig deep and look death in the eyes. Literally. Billed as a so-called labyrinth, Bitter Black Island's underground dungeon isn't the most inspired among questing locales. Its eye-catching rooms and areas are undercut by modular design, which means you will be visiting the exact same room decorated by different props over and over again. It's understandable to an extent since it's a labyrinth, but finding your way around is easy, feeling uninspired and lazy. Don't get me wrong, it has its moments of beauty. Taking a different route in design, Arisen has a darker tone, giving the uneasy feeling of what lies beyond, very similar to Dark Souls. Dragon's Dogma is well worth its price. If you missed out on the core game and are looking for an original story, you got it. But with the poor execution, the player is never fully immersed into the world, resulting in an experience that could turn some away. Making it past the initial hump proves to be the defining factor of whether you will love or loathe Dragon's Dogma. But if you're persistent, you are in for an exciting experience that is worth more than the sum of its flawed parts. The trials that wait on Bitter Black Island should be seen as a treat to an already massive game.